So first of all, as I said, thank you very much, and it's a great opportunity to be here, and I'm very happy to present this specific point about the pharmaceutical legislation. So if we think back of what has happened over the past 5 years during this mandate, probably COVID-19 has revolutionized the way we look about health and the impact of health on our economies, as well as the value of innovation in health. We had the first COVID-19 vaccine not even a year after the World Health Organization had proclaimed the global pandemic. And of course, COVID-19 also put back the issue of open strategic autonomy of Europe on our agenda. So based on all of that, at the end of April last year, the European Commission published the complete revision of the pharmaceutical legislation. And we, as the innovative pharmaceutical industry, we believe and we welcomed that revision. We thought that it was an opportunity to modernize the regulatory framework and to attract back innovation to Europe. Just wanted to give you a couple of numbers. So at the end of last century, Europe was the pharmacy of the world. We were producing half of the innovative treatments worldwide. Now, not even 25 years after, this number has reduced to 1 in 5 new medicines being produced in Europe. So we have seen a worrisome erosion of the R&D base in Europe that has moved to other regions of the world. Thinking about clinical trials, and in particular clinical trials for advanced therapies, we know that the United States ran 2 times more clinical trials than Europe, and China 3 times more clinical trials on ATMPs. So of course, we need to do something. We need to make sure that this innovation is cut back and attracted back to Europe. Another thing is the regulatory framework. We know that the European Medicines Agency is unfortunately one of the slowest regulatory agencies. The citizens, patients in Europe have to wait almost a double than patients in the United States to have the opportunity to have treatments and innovative treatments approved by the European Medicines Agency. And we also know that the use of expedited pathways in Europe is much lower compared to other regions of the world. So only 9% of the cases. In the US, the FDA uses it in 71. So you could see there is a clear difference. So putting together all of that, we believe that the revision of the pharma legislation is needed, is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The previous revision dated back 20 years ago, so we really need to do something. And we have seen in the Commission proposals some positive improvements, in particular thinking about streamlining the European Medicines Agency processes, cutting the approval timelines, introducing the concept of regulatory sandboxes to regulate all those innovations that are at the intersection between pharmaceuticals, medical devices, artificial intelligence. For the first time, Europe will be probably the first region that actually gets transferable exclusivity voucher to incentivize the development of novel antibiotics. We haven't had a new antibiotic since 1984. And we know that the antimicrobial resistance is being considered as probably the next pandemic. So we need to do something. We're happy to see that in the legislation there are some proposals to address that. So there are a lot of positive things. There are a few concerning things as well, and particularly the fact that the Commission is proposing to reduce the protection needed to develop certain products, both for rare diseases as well as for medicines in general. And we had done in FPA a report, we published a report at the end of last year and realized that if all of the proposals that the Commission put on the table would be implemented, the risk is that 50 out of the 225 new medicines that should be developed and would be developed in Europe over the next 15 years would be forgone. So just to conclude, I think that we need really to make sure that we get things right with the revision of the legislation. We are regulating the way we develop, the way we research, the way we approve, and the way we manufacture medicines in Europe for patients for the next 20 to 30 years. And this is important, and it matters for European patients, but it also matters for the systems, for the health systems and their sustainability, and for our economies. So I'll stop here and looking forward to the discussion. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Sorry for the technical problems with the presentation.